I don't think it matters what they are in a way. I think that you just want to do enough to just kind of suggest it. And anyway, I have been thinking about this quite a bit, like what exactly. So no matter what I do here, I'm doing all kinds of things. You can still see me and my painting big, right?
Right.
No matter what I do.
Yeah.
On
Yes.
screen. Okay. Because I can't see what I'm doing at all. So, I mean, I can't see the painting I'm working from. So I thought what I do is I just go back here and I just decide that what some of these little things were going to be, like maybe little houses back here. I would just give them a little form and decide what things were kind of going to be trees back here, because it's not like I can even see them in the photograph really. And so I'm just going to do a few things that I hope will kind of make them look like houses. And then the boats too. I think it's the mast. I'm hoping it's the mast. They're going to make these look like boats, but they may never. Who knows? So anytime you can redraw with your charcoal, that's fine. That will work at any point. I already drew this a little bit more, so I'm not going to draw more on that yet because I want to, this is my second time over now. So I want to get the colors better before I add any more details. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sky because, right, yeah, because the sky is just, it's a really good place to start. It's where I usually start my paintings. So the second time over, I usually work in the same order that I did the first time. So that usually means like, really, I should come back to my sky.
Janine, could I just make an interjection?
And so, Linda, you brought up, did you want to talk about modern art or was it abstract art in particular? Feel free to unmute yourself and answer that question if you're here. All right, let's just talk about it. So modern art really starts with the Impressionists. And but you could also say that modern art is just whenever, like whatever is contemporaneous, whatever is currently going on, that's modern art because this is that time. So you think of the Impressionists as the first modern artist, although that's kind of probably silly too, honestly. So I guess what a modern artist would be is anybody that breaks with the past, moves on to something that hopefully incorporates the past, the art, the long history of art, but also moves past it. So I feel that it's really easy to say that the Impressionists did that because they were responding to academic painting where people painted what they know, not what they see. And Impressionism is all about painting what you see and not what you know. So academic art relies really heavily on being able to draw really well. And Impressionism, the great thing about that, what it relies on is color. So you don't have to draw that well if you have beautiful color, basically. And then after that, you get into all these other things like Cubism, Fauvism, which is like Cubism, I guess, you know, would be Braque and Picasso. Fauvism is Matisse, I guess. I guess Matisse is Fauvism. And then some other kind of ridiculous stuff like Marcel Duchamp, that thing of with just the urinal in the art museum, that's considered Dada. And there's Surrealism, which is like Dali. Anyway, so it sort of goes on. And then abstract art comes along, and it is its goal is to not have anything realistic in it, that The camera has taken care of that for us. We don't need artists to do that anymore. Now artists can just, I don't know, be abstract. And so the thing that I've always felt, and this is just me, so I'm not like an expert on this, but this is how I feel, is that all great art is abstract, and that so-called abstract art that doesn't have anything realistic in it, no drawing, maybe not very nice color, maybe it's kind of, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like, why wouldn't I want to do more than just that? You know, than just kind of, I mean, I feel like I do that. I start my painting out and I think about the abstract shapes, the difference between the negative and positive shapes. I'm never getting off the sky. This is what happens week after week.
Janine, can I ask a question about?
Yeah, so that's definitely part of my thing. And you definitely, there's a lot of bad realistic painting because people aren't trying to do something that pushes the envelope. Like maybe they're just trying to do something they can sell, or maybe they're trying to do something, and I don't know what they're doing, but I guess it's mostly about making a buck when people don't push the envelope. And I'm sorry to say that even really probably the most sophisticated art buyers and stuff, if they don't like the subject matter, they're not going to buy it. So, so subject matter definitely comes into it. And my teacher, what he used to say was that he didn't care what he painted. So if like Native American stuff, still lifes could sell really well, then that's what he painted. The things the objects he chose to paint were just sort of a foil for his painting technique and what he was trying to express, which was beautiful color. And he also could draw, like, he was a really good draftsman, so.
Janine,
Right. Golly, I'm sorry, it's so crooked over there, but.
Janine, can you hear me?
I just sent Janine a
Maybe a little better.
text.
Of course, now I can't reach.
Did you
it,
hear
so-
me, Janine?
Oh, no. Oh, my painting. I just threw my painting I was working on the ground when I did all this, and there it was on the ground.
She might have muted all of us.
No, I think she's got the sound off.
Uh,
I'm gonna try and call her.
This is gonna be so good now.
In
All right,
here.
Let's try to get the sky in now and, oh. Oh, no, I can't hear any questions. You're right. But I don't have you guys muted. You have to unmute yourself.
No, we are unmuted.
Just a minute. Yes.
The
are
problem, I don't
unmuted.
think, is that we're muted because we can hear other people asking questions, but you may have the sound off on your computer.
Oh. Like maybe I touched it. Oh, wait. Okay, somebody say something.
Can
That's
you
out
hear
there.
me now, Janine?
Yes.
Okay. there
Sorry,
you
I'm
go.
sorry. This is just like the knife from hell, right?
Well,
Okay,
you
go ahead,
know,
ask those
It's good
questions.
to let newcomers know the worst and know that this doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
Before
I
you
really
start,
tried. Yeah, go
This
ahead.
is nothing compared to truly a technical night from hell. When you have 900 people in a conference room and the person who was helping you do your slideshow put most of the pictures in backwards, sideways.
Oh, no.
That was nothing will ever compare to that. So this is
Okay,
all
good.
great.
so
Yeah.
hold on one sec, Janine. Do the people who are just here for the first time know that a lot of us will emulate what you're doing on our own and send you pictures of what we're doing in the interim, and then you'll give us feedback?
No, they don't really know that.
It would, I would want to know that if I were.
They do now.
They'll figure it out when we see the slides.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is just, let's see, what time is it? So, God, it's almost 7. So I'm just gonna try to get this all covered again. I'm just basically trying to make every color better. I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just making it better. That's my goal. So.
Janine, I had a question about the sky.
Okay.
You went back and forth from dark and light and then dark and light again. And I wondered why typically you do the dark first and then you lighten it up, right? But you went back and forth with some dark blues and I was wondering why.
Because it didn't look right to me. I don't know, you just do what you have to do when you can't make it look right. It still doesn't look right. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Just,
So I have a question. Is everyone working on the same marine landscape, or are people working on just whatever they want to work on? And
I'm not working on the
Not working on
marine
this
landscape.
one.
I work from my own photos.
yeah,
This is Barb.
so everyone can do that. So we can work from our own photos. We can work from whatever.
Yes.
inspired.
I do
Yes.
both. I do both.
what?
I do both. I do what she's doing, but I work on other things too.
I thought you said I give up.
No, I do both.
I do both too.
No, you don't
That's what I
get
thought
to give
she
up.
said,
I'm the one that's gonna give up here with this.
Sometimes I do one, sometimes I do the other.
Yeah, me too. It seems as though there've been certain photos Janine has picked that a lot of us have liked and worked on, and then ones that fewer people work on.
Only one person did this one. And that was Jane.
Is everybody working on an easel or on a flat or everywhere, working wherever you can?
I have an easel.
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 You're on an easel. Hi, Emily.
I work on a couch, but I'm not someone to emulate.
Okay, this could be part of the problem. Working on a couch.
Could be part of the problem.
I thought you were working on the floor.
She was.
And I
She's
used
come
to
up in the
work on-
world.
I
The
used to
couch
work
is
on an
uncomfortable.
easel, but I have rotator cuff problems, so I've been working flat.
I like this
Enough.
easel. I'm using a lot and it wasn't very expensive.
What is that?
I don't know. I'll have to look at it in a minute, but I like it a lot. It's not very heavy.
Oh, and last week you mentioned some yellows, and you're right. All I've got is Rembrandt yellows, and I can never get what I want out of them.
Yep.
What were the ones you mentioned?
Well, at the drawing board, they usually have Great American,
Okay.
I think, and their yellow is pretty good. I should have one right here, but I don't see it. This, I'm just gonna do this to show you. This is their orange. So how bright and vibrant it is. The yellow is that way also.
Yeah, that's nice.
God, this just, okay. All right, quit complaining. All right, so.
Janine, can I ask what kind of paper are you working on?
Oh, thank
Seems
you.
to be
That's an
taking
excellent
a lot of color, a lot of
Yeah,
layers.
This is Pastel Premier. The Italian clay color, I think. But yeah, it does take a lot, and I did spray the heck out of it. So can anyone tell me why did I make every roof red in the town?
It's a red district.
You're right. That was the answer. The thing that's about pastel, about why it's kind of nice to work vertically if you can, is that way the pastel dust falls flat straight down. And when you work flat, people tend to then blow on their pastel. And so that's not good, because then the next thing you tend to do is breathe. And so, and then you breathe a lot of dust. So I had this, also had this little table easel, but I'm not sure they make them anymore. And what I've been doing is, it sits, the one I had set up to use before this all happened. it sits on the table, but then what I do is I put a piece of newspaper under it, and that catches really pretty much all the pastel. There's a bunch in the little tray, so I clean that out at the end of class with a, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna turn this all into trees. Yeah.
Janine, you spray the paper before you even start to draw?
No, I don't. That's a
So what
good
did you mean about I'm spraying it? So
Oh.
like every night you spray it after you're done working on it?
Like in real life, I probably have to spray it about every 30 minutes because I really do put a lot of pastel on, and I don't really think a whole lot about what I'm doing. So I make a lot of mistakes, but that's kind of what everything I do is kind of based on, like how great mistakes are. Because mistakes teach you a lot more than non-mistakes. So anyway, I'm pretty impetuous, and I don't think about what I'm doing very much. I'll just try stuff. So like right there, I'm like, oh no, I had that too yellow. Maybe, of course, the answer always is make it a little more purple. But so I probably have to spray mine like every 30 minutes. So when I get this all covered, I'll spray it with fixative again. And what that does is it creates a new surface for me to work on. It's like it brings it back that I can keep adding colors. Because at some point, especially on less expensive paper than this, you're locked out. You can't add anymore. And because it takes me a long time to get what I want, I have to be able to keep adding stuff and changing stuff. And the other thing the spraying does is that it, oh golly, that's good. The spraying makes everything darker. So because it makes your pastels darker, it's almost like it doubles the number of pastels you have, which is kind of good, especially if you don't have a lot. But when I'm finished, the most important thing is when I'm finished, I don't spray it because I don't want it to get darker. And other things I don't do is I don't almost never rub my pastels with my fingers. So everything is kind of like a weaving almost of the colors layered, just the weaving of the colors on top of each other. And that's kind of back to that impressionism thing where the colors mix in the viewer's eye. So it's an interesting idea though. What?
Is that Pastel Premier paper, is that a brand name or is that?
It is a brand name.
It is?
It is a brand name, and the only place I know to get it, I mean, there might be others, but I just buy mine always from Dakota Pastels. It's an expensive paper. I think, what do you think, guys? $6 to $8 a sheet for like this size.
But
Yeah.
what's the name of the store?
Dakota Pastels.
Dakota, like
Yeah, like
Dakota,
the
North
state.
Dakota.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Got it.
The Dakota Sioux or, all right. Okay. So another thing I decided was I decided that this line was not straight enough because it's, so I wanted to do that. And I wanted to make, like when I looked at it, I was kind of like, what are those shadows over there? But they're the house, but somehow I couldn't tell. So I just wanted to try to firm that up a little bit. And yeah, so like if I think that I see some purple in something, then I just add purple. And then if I think, oh, well, now I use the same color in my light as my shadow, but I wanted that dark purple under my lights too. So then I say, oh, but that's too purple out here. So now I need some blue. So I just come over it with the blue. And then, all right, but maybe out there closer to the boats, maybe that's kind of a green. I'm just looking for a green. So I'll try that color out here by the boats.
Janine, are you using the photo?
Yeah, kind of.
Could you show it once in a while?
No, I can't, I'm
okay.
sorry. If I could, I would if I could, but, and
I
that's
gotcha.
why I use that complicated format, so I can show it to you both at the same time, but I can't. All right, so I tried yellow, well, maybe that's too yellow, so now I'm gonna try some pink. The paper that you guys have been using, any of you that are using the Canson paper, you can get about 3 colors before you start to be kind of, locked out of it, like it starts to smear. And this I can do a lot more. Also, I just would like to say that all the things I pick to do demonstrations, I don't pick things that I think I can be successful at. So that's not my #1 criteria of picking something out. For one thing, I'll just be bored too. But next time I was thinking I would do something with a lot of greens, if that would be good, if people thought that was good. Because,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay,
yes.
nothing worse than green. And we're over this winter thing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No, we're sugaring. We have to have this
Oh,
winter a
right.
little longer.
Yay. So it's going well, sugaring.
Not yet.
Oh. Do you still have snow? Laura?
Yes, we do.
Little bit,
Okay,
not a lot. It was 60 degrees here over the weekend, so a lot of it melted.
that's gross.
Yeah, it was in the 50s here, lower 50s here.
We've
Supposed
got
to
one
snow
more.
again this weekend.
Yeah,
What's coming this weekend?
More
more
snow.
snow.
Oh, no, I hate to hear that. When's that happening?
We're not sure. It's
Oh.
still too far out.
All right, I'm supposed to come to
We're
Vermont.
just in the beginning of sugaring season, Janine. The cold has to hang around for a while.
No, I know, but
At night.
we were gonna come up this weekend.
see
and
any
get a
deer out
moving
there?
truck.
Well, may it be
Also, another
nice
thing-
when you come.
What? Another thing is I don't work very long in one place. I keep moving around. And part of that is just that I have to be, like, I'm relating everything to everything else. So I have to be sure that,
I'll just leave the door open.
okay, shut the door. Yeah, so I I move around a lot because I'm comparing everything. I'm trying not to look too long at one thing. I'm trying to really, yeah. So because of that, I have to move around instead of getting stuck in one spot. Because these colors are only what they are based on what's around them. And I am doing a little bit of strokes here and there, but also I'm not quite at this, I mean, I'm kind of starting that, but my main concern still is my colors and yeah, just trying to figure out how I can just suggest, oh, look at that. All these boats without, so how much can I just suggest things and kind of get away with it? That's what I'm always asking myself is how little kind of can I do and it still carries the idea of what it is.
Yes, that will never be me. I'm such a realist.
Barb's mother also, and her dad too, both of them really good painters. My grandmother painted, but not, she studied with a guy that they all traced his drawing.
Oh, really?
Well, she was
Nice
old.
job.
I mean, she was older. She was what we thought of as old then. She didn't start and really, I think she always wanted to, but she didn't really start until sometime much later in life. But she's the one that got me going. So that's that was her contribution to all of you as she got me to be a painter. All right.
I thank her.
Okay, I'm almost got the whole thing covered again. I think what I'm just gonna do is, I'll just do another recording. I'll just do another time that I work on this without you guys here, and I'll send you that part 3. And that way, hopefully I can get it all to work like it should. And because I got such a late start here. Something I'm really interested in. What?
Right now,
What?
what color are you using right now?
It's a super, super dark, whoa, where's the camera? Whoa,
It is
super dark green. It is a super dark green. If you bought like a small set, which is totally what I would recommend to people when they're first starting, it means you don't, the dark colors, they must be more expensive to make or something because they're just not in the sets in the same way. So, but one thing that's kind of cool now that Rembrandt does that they didn't used to do is they sell these little boxes that are like 5 purples or something, or 5 greens. And so that probably, and they're not too expensive. I think those little boxes are under $10 maybe. So. Too much. Also like too much, like I'm always trying to be a little too much, sort of my goal. My mother would certainly have told you that I achieved that goal. Always too much.
My mother would say the same thing about me, but not in regard to painting.
Okay, so yeah, I talked about how it's easier really to do these boat masks from the turn the paper upside down, but I'm just gonna do it anyway right now because I just want to see, like, would this be enough to give you the idea that these were boats if they had masts, or do I have to do like, you know, more to the boats? I mean, I'm sure I do, but that's kind of how I'm thinking, is that if I give you some visual clues, then will that like do it?
I'm thinking, don't mess with perfection.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, that is unachieved at this moment. So,
Not true.
oh, you
They're
think
looking
it's
like
okay?
boats.
I think I think it's pretty close.
I'm having a breakdown here after like having so much trouble. It was kind of a bad day on the home front too. The kids were a little cranky.
Is it a full moon?
Oh no, it's a brand new moon. I don't know, unless that's the new thing, is brand new moons. All right, I'm just gonna see if I can just, and this is the super dark blue. It's a piece about like a smidgen here. Rembrandts have numbers on them. That's how the colors are done, is by the numbers. So like the first 3 numbers are the colors. So this is Prussian blue. It's 508 is Prussian, no, sorry, 503 is Prussian blue. And then so there's a bunch of 508s. There's like 508.3, there's now I think a 508.1. And the lower the 4th number is, the decimal number. Are you following this so far? The lower the decimal number, the darker the color. So if you're trying to order some online, if there's a 2, a 3, a 1, those will be the darkest ones of that series. So that one color is really hard for me to paint without that Prussian blue, because I use it basically instead of black.
So
And
do
when
the decimal points go all the way to 0.9? So you know you're at the lower end? At
0.9 is the high end, the lightest color.
the lightest, but there is that full scale of
I
decimal
think
points.
so. I can't remember, but you know, the light colors are just not the same kind of problem for me as dark colors. Because I really don't want to use black, and it's the reason I don't want to use black, it's just that it has a different texture. It doesn't respond like the other pastels. I don't like the way it feels or looks on the paper. It kind of bleeds into the other colors. But if I use this really dark blue and then I spray it, it's about black. Just trying to see what I could do. I wanted to make this, I know right now maybe this is too hard an edge because it's drawing your eye to it maybe too much, but I wanted to show that the land edge, and I wanted to somehow see if I could show that this is the edge of where the ice and the water meet. But I
I
don't
think it reads that way.
Okay, good.
And the shoreline or coastline with the little buildings and trees really works well, I think.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So then, so back, like, I don't know if I can really do this from this weird angle, but okay, so like we have some little windows and stuff. So I would put those in charcoal. Because
Smile.
is she taking a picture? I would put these in charcoal because if you don't like it, how it turns out or where it is or whatever, you can fix that. So, and when you're doing windows, I think there's some pretty weird things about houses that we learned, or that are house icons we used to draw when we were kids. So you really want to look and see, like, because some houses, the windows will be lined up. In Italy, the windows are just helter-skelter, so there's no, and every window is a different kind of window. They just stuck whatever kind of window they found from Roman times or something and put it in the wall. So it was very confusing in the beginning. And the other thing that was really confusing for me, and it just really speaks to that thing of drawing what you see, not what you know, is that the roofs are really at a much lower angle than we're used to in Vermont. Like our roofs are really steep. And so it just took me a long time to kind of get that, to realize that I wasn't really looking at what I was seeing. I was doing what I know. So that is about the most important thing I think I could say, is do what you see, not what you know. All right, so the windows, usually when I do windows, these windows are really lit up, but the top, but it's just because they've got the shades drawn. So I just want to go ahead and make it reflect the sky a little bit. And I could, I could do every thing on this house, but I could do all those clapboards or shingles or whatever it is, but, and I might later, I might try to do a texture that would sort of show that that's what it was. But again, being super lazy, I just like to see how little I have to do to tell the story. And that's why I slave on these things. I think I finished that painting I showed you though of the dogs. I think that's done. So now I think, well, I got that too light. So I know I say you can't put light over dark, but you can, but it's just not as easy. Life is just easier if you start with the dark colors and work lighter.
Janine,
Yes.
I called Dakota and spoke to the girl there and told her that I'd like about 6 darks. And I said, one kind of a green, one kind of a blue. Anyway, she sent me from different manufacturers a fabulous, fabulous assortment of darks.
Wow.
Greens, blues, purples, really just, she picked them out and they were all from different manufacturers. And
Great.
it's a terrific, terrific assortment.
Hey, you know what you could do for all of us if you just laid them all out and took a picture of them maybe? And then so we could see the different brands and stuff.
Okay.
And then because then the next person, if somebody else wanted to order those, they could just, they would be able to tell them because, oh, whoops. Sorry, I made a big mistake. Sorry, I just painted right over the side of my building. Come back.
And what I did when I ordered the Pastel Premier paper from Dakota, I also ordered a set of Rembrandt 10 half dark shades. So I got 10 different ones. And it was $16. But with a half one, that will last a while.
Well, and also when you find what you like, then hopefully they tell you what they are. That's the, hopefully they
I
tell you.
haven't figured out if they told me what they are. That might be on the box.
Okay, and then all these little houses back here, so I just do like little window thingies with suggestions would be another word for that.
I love the masks.
The mouse, did they help?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
They bring your eye forward.
And now you know it's a boat, right? So like this, I just will scribble these in here, these little darks for windows. And then usually what I do is I come back with a lighter color and I just come up to them so I can get them sort of straight like that. And then sort of that embeds them a little bit on the surface.
Wow.
Okay. Got better, life got better.
Oh, much
Yeah.
better.
It's really good, Janine.
Oh, good. Always the note of surprise. That's from Harry.
It's
Potter.
really good, Janine, as usual.
Thank you. All right.